So by now you should have read, I don't know whatever pages you're supposed to read on the sheet, it's not in front of me. But before you take your checkout quiz, I want to go over forces and friction. I'm going to use my favorite coffee mug. Right here it says student here, still warm. I'm going to use Doritos, a cheese grater, and some Dawn dish soap. So you might want to jot some things down from this because they're probably going to be in your quiz and they weren't in the reading. This is my way to make sure you're actually doing your work. So with that in mind, first thing we got to talk about is forces in motion. So if I have my mug right here, just look at it. Are there forces acting upon it? Yes, there are. You've got gravity, which is causing it to go down. But you also have the force of the countertop, which is pushing up on it. But notice, it's not going up, it's not going down, it's just stationary. That's because those forces are equal and opposite, otherwise known as balance forces. Now when I go ahead and push it, it moves. So in order to get that thing to move, I've got to push it with enough force to overcome something. So force is keeping my butt seated in a stool. Sometimes if you're drifting an automobile, which you should not be doing because you're not of legal age to drive, what you're doing is you're breaking the rear end free, and what is the result of that is you don't have enough friction, or sometimes it's called traction. So the reason why this is sitting right here not moving is due to friction. Think about a cheese grater. Would you want to exfoliate your face with that? It might be kind of nice, but probably not going to look good the next day. So we got to first talk about what is the cause of friction, and you've got multiple different sides on this cheese grater. This one might not be bad. This one, oofda, not so good. It's kind of like if you had to go ahead and run and slide. Would you rather slide on a gravel road or on a wet lawn? Wet grass, probably not going to hurt you that much. Gravel, oofda. So the cause of friction, obviously, is going to be the roughness or the imperfections between two surfaces. So with that in mind, what do a lot of people do to the back end of their pickup truck in the winter? A lot of times they'll put weight in there. Okay, so like my wife's truck, yes, I know my wife drives a truck, yada, yada, yada. She's got like 400 pounds of sandbags because if you put more weight on an object, so think about it, if I just go ahead and slide this, oh, wrong side, that was just going to cut me. If I just slide this across, I mean, it doesn't feel terrible, but if I were to push really, really hard, my face wouldn't look good. I mean, realistically speaking. So with that in mind, we know that if you increase the mass or the force between two objects, that's going to increase friction. Oh, this is also on your quiz. I'm cooking supper. And it's Sloppy Joe's. So, for Sloppy Joe's, you add 1 can of chicken gumbo soup. If Campbell's would like to sponsor me, that'd be great. Then you just go ahead and put some ketchup and a little bit of yellow mustard in there. Simmer it all together and it's great. So with that in mind, you might want to remember Sloppy Joe's for supper. That might be on your quiz too, as well as the ingredients. You never know. So back to friction and forces once again. We're talking about the factors that can influence the rate of friction. So once again, we have the force or the weight. So people put extra weight in the back of their pickup truck to give the tires more traction or friction. Now sometimes you want to reduce the amount of friction. So what I've got right here is Dawn dish soap. So sometimes if you got hoses that you need to put on an engine, take off, different things like that. And you would just think about when you wash your hands, if you ever get like a ring stuck on your finger, a lot of times if you put soap on it, it'll slide right off. So what's happening with the soap is it's basically filling in those voids or the microscopic rough surfaces, and allows those to slide much better. So we got to think about, if we didn't have friction, if I just went ahead and slid this cut, would it ever stop? It wouldn't until it hits another object. But also think about that. Could you walk if there's no friction? It'd be kind of like if you step on ice and just goes out from you. So friction's a good thing, but however, if you have something like an automobile engine, if you have too much friction, maybe because you have an oiling problem, or you've got a roughness between the cylinder and piston, that's going to generate too much heat and it's going to cause the engine to fail. So when we talk about engines and making sure you have proper lubrication, that's why that's important, because you don't want too much friction, because too much friction, if you rub your hands together, generates heat. If you have parts of a motor that are going thousands of revolutions per minute, it's going to generate too much heat and you're going to be cooked. Kind of like my sloppy joes back there. So with that in mind, I think I covered everything as far as friction and forces go. So make sure that you do your checkout quiz. If you have any extra time at the end of class, open your book, read. Don't be a pain. Otherwise next week is not going to be good. Not only will I be bringing back a sunburn for you, lots of work and not fun stuff. So with that in mind, make sure you get work done. Have a great day.